I'm Eleanor. Standing in the middle of my parents' living room at Christmas, the air thick with tension, I can't help but reflect on how far I've come. The room, once a place of warmth and family, now feels like a battlefield. My family, who just moments ago were showering me with false love and congratulations, are now glaring at me with a mix of anger and disbelief. It all started a few weeks ago at Thanksgiving. I drove from my small apartment in Westwood to my parents' house in Elmwood. I'm a pediatric nurse, and I work long 12-hour shifts, comforting little ones in their most vulnerable moments. I've always been the reliable one, the daughter who doesn't need much. My sister, Lily, arrived an hour late with her husband, Ryan. My parents, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, are the kind of people who value showmanship and outward success. They're all about appearances, and Lily, with her flashy lifestyle, has always been their golden child. As soon as Lily walked in, the house seemed to come alive. My mother lit up like a Christmas tree, and my father stood up to greet them. Meanwhile, I was in the kitchen, peeling potatoes as I always do. I told myself it was okay, that I didn't mind being the steady one. I had a job I loved, a small savings, and a cozy apartment that was all mine. After dinner, my mother clapped her hands and announced it was time for some early Christmas gifts. She presented Lily with a beautiful envelope. Inside was a $13,000 luxury ski vacation in the Alps. Lily shrieked with joy, and Ryan pumped my father's hand. There were hugs and tears of happiness. Then, my mother turned to me. With a smirk on her face, she said, "We didn't forget you, Eleanor." She handed me a crumpled birthday card. Inside was a $2 scratch-off lottery ticket and a note from my father that said, "Don't blow it all at once." The whole table erupted in laughter. It was a warm, family laugh, but to me, it felt like a knife in the heart. I smiled and slipped the card into my coat pocket. I didn't want to make a scene. On the drive home, I didn't cry. I just felt a strange sense of clarity. When I got back to my apartment, I stuck the card on my fridge with a magnet, my father's handwriting facing out. I guess I wanted to stop pretending that their favoritism didn't hurt. A few days later, after a particularly tough shift at the hospital, I came home exhausted. I saw the card on the fridge and thought, why not? I took a coin and scratched the ticket at the kitchen counter. At first, I didn't believe my eyes. One number matched, then another, and another. I read the instructions over and over again. It was a $100 million jackpot. I didn't sleep that night. I sat up, holding the ticket in a plastic bag, like a nurse protecting evidence. In the morning, I called in a personal day and drove to the lottery office. They confirmed the win. I was in shock, but more than that, I was scared. I'd seen too many stories of lottery winners who ended up broke or in trouble. I knew I couldn't tell my family. I remembered all the times they'd favored Lily over me. If I told them, I knew the money would become a family issue. My mother would have her opinions, Lily would have her demands, and Ryan would come up with some business plan. I decided to handle it the way I handle a crisis at work, calmly, privately, and carefully. I found a lawyer named Miss Green. She specialized in lottery wins and didn't bat an eye when I told her the amount. She taught me that I could form a trust to claim the prize, keeping my identity secret. We named the trust something unassuming, Oakwood Trust LLC. For 2 weeks, while my family was busy planning Lily's ski vacation, I was working on setting up the trust. I went back to work at the hospital, and no one there knew that I was now a multimillionaire. It felt good to be normal, to hold those small, scared hands and know that I was still the same person underneath all the money. The news of the big lottery win broke in the local paper. Everyone in Elmwood was talking about it. My family was obsessed with speculating who the winner was. Lily texted me, "Can you believe someone around here won $100 million? Crazy." My mother thought it was a local business owner, and my father guessed it was someone from his old club. It never occurred to them that it could be me. I started thinking about what I really wanted to do with the money. I thought about my Aunt Rose, my mother's older sister. She's the kindest person I know. When I was a kid, she was the one who came to my school concerts when my parents were at Lily's dance recitals. She taught me how to bake and always sent me a small gift on my birthday. Aunt Rose was in financial trouble. She'd had some health issues, and the medical bills were piling up. She was too proud to ask for help. So, I used the trust to pay off all her debts anonymously. It felt good to give back to someone who had always been there for me. I also made a large anonymous donation to the pediatric ward at the hospital where I work. We'd been in need of new equipment for a long time, and there was a fund for families who couldn't afford their children's medical expenses. I knew this would make a real difference. But eventually, the secret couldn't stay hidden. The clerk at the convenience store where my father bought the ticket remembered the sale. Word spread, and a sharp-witted cousin put two and two together. I got a text from her asking if the ticket my father gave me was the winning one. Before I could fully process this, I got a call from Aunt Rose. She was crying, saying that someone had paid off all her medical bills. She was so grateful, and I couldn't bring myself to tell her it was me. I just told her that she deserved it. That evening, my phone started ringing non-stop. It was my mother, my father, Lily, and Ryan. They were all calling, one after another. I let the phone ring. I watched the missed call counter climb. I felt calm, like I was in control for the first time in my life. The next morning, I listened to the voicemails. My mother's was full of fake love and congratulations. She said she was so proud of me and that the family needed to be together. Lily's voicemail was a mix of apology and a veiled request for money. She said she was sorry if the Thanksgiving gift made me feel bad and that we should all celebrate. Ryan's voicemail was all about his business ideas and how the money could help the family. I decided to go to Christmas at my parents' house. I wanted to face them, to tell them the truth. I brought the card with me. When I walked in, the whole room turned to me. It was a complete contrast to Thanksgiving. My mother rushed to me with open arms, and my father stood up. There were presents with my name on them, big and expensive. After a while, when the room was filled with false warmth and they thought they had won me back, I stood up and said, "Can I say something?" The room went quiet. I started by thanking them for the warm welcome. Then I said, 3 weeks ago at Thanksgiving, you gave Lily a $13,000 ski vacation and me a $2 lottery ticket. You all laughed, thinking it was a joke. But that joke told me everything I needed to know about my worth in this family. I took out the card and held it up. I kept this card because it was the first time I stopped pretending that your favoritism didn't matter. I scratched the ticket, and it was worth $100 million. I claimed it through a trust, and in the 3 weeks before you found out, I decided what to do with it. I paid off Aunt Rose's medical bills because she's the one who has always loved me unconditionally. I donated to the hospital where I work because it's where I've found my purpose. I looked at my mother and said, "You valued me at $2 for all these years. Now that the $2 has turned into a fortune, you suddenly see me as your precious daughter. But I'm not going to fund anyone in this room. It's not revenge, it's just the truth." My mother started crying, saying I was being ungrateful. Ryan stood up, red-faced, saying it was family money. Lily looked down, as if for a moment, she felt ashamed. But I didn't let their words affect me. I stood there, calm and steady, letting them show their true colors in front of everyone. I picked up my coat and left the card on the coffee table. I said, "Merry Christmas. I do love some of you, but I won't be buying your love." As I drove home, I felt a sense of peace. I've learned that the people who price you cheap are only showing their own worth, not yours. I still work at the hospital, and most days, no one there knows about my fortune. I've opened my door to those who truly value me, like Aunt Rose. And as for my family, I'll see if Lily's apology is real and if they can ever truly understand the pain they've caused. But for now, I'm content with the life I've built for myself, away from their false love and expectations.